Hi guys, this is EBPMAN with Tablets for Me, and today we're going to take a look at, do an unboxing review of the Galaxy Note 3's As a View flip cover from Samsung. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at this flip cover for a second. We'll go ahead and open up the case. Now this is probably one of the most high-end cases that I've seen on the market coming from Samsung. It's around $59 for the case, and you may find it a little bit cheaper or on sale in some places. Be careful that there are some aftermarket versions that look like they're the same, but they really don't work. There's certain features that come with the case. This is a smart cover, so it has the ability to do certain things once it's connected to your Galaxy Note 3. So let's take a look at the actual case itself for a little bit. First of all, you note that it's made out of a material that is very similar to the material that the back of your Note is made out of, where it has this leather look and it has stitching, as you can see right there. Let's see if we make sure that that stays in focus. You'll notice that it has like some stitching there that makes it look like it is leather. I don't think it is leather, but it's leather-like. It has this open window here, clear window, and this clear window, which you could use your stylus on, brings in several features. You'll notice that there is a display here, a little sticky, an imprint that's showing, kind of what you should expect once this is connected to your Galaxy Note 3. Overall, this case does require you to remove the back of your Note 3, and it replaces it with this back end cover. I'd say that this is probably not the most I would say impact resistant case in the market, so it's not going to provide a lot of protection, but it is a very good looking case. And I would say if you let's say keep your Note in your purse and are not really concerned about dropping it, I think you may want to consider this case. On the back, you'll notice that it has the appropriate cutouts for your camera, and just without even connecting this to the device, I can tell that it looks like it does add some depth. If you see the case right here, we'll bring it into focus. You'll see that there is some depth here right by where the camera would be. So it looks like it raises the back a little higher so your camera isn't flush, which is a vast improvement over the additional cover that the Samsung Galaxy Note 3 has. It has these two contact points. I don't know what these contact points serve. I didn't see these contact points aligning anywhere with the actual Note in the inside, but it's definitely there for some reason. Unfortunately, I can't really share with you what that's for. The other thing that you'll notice with this case is that the home button is protected, so you don't have a cutout for the home button. So your home button is protected here, and it's kind of indented as well, so that as you close it, as you can see right there, you will not inadvertently push any of the buttons of your Note 3. On the top here, you'll notice that there is a cutout. So you have a cutout for your speaker. So you should be able to use hear the phone when it's on, and actually bring this to your ear to listen if you wanted to without opening this up in this fashion. Outside of that, there are some alignments here, cutouts that you see for your headphone jack, and it looks like you have on the bottom here your cutout for your stylus. So let's put this on the Galaxy Note and see what it looks like once it's installed. Alright, so let's go ahead and remove the Note 3, and you notice again, I said it's kind of almost they're kind of the same pleather-like, not even pleather, plastic that feels like they try to make it feel like leather look with the same type of stitching. So what I'm going to do is just, you put your finger here in the corner, there's a little notch, and you just pull it out this way. And as you pull it out, you notice that it comes out rather easily. And if we compare some of the things that are going on here, as this thing closes up, you'll notice that it makes contact somewhere around here. So we'll close this a little bit and see what it lines up with. It looks like it lines up with these 2 points right here. So you notice right there that it looks like it lines up. So once it lines up with those areas, I'm sure that it enables certain functions that are not normally visible. So there's definitely, it looks like a purpose for that. And to install this is pretty straightforward. All you do is, it's just like putting the cover back on. And we'll just go ahead and push on the sides. Turn that off. Get that to snap in. Okay, so now it's snapped in. So if we look at the case for a couple seconds, one of the things that concerns me with a case of this type, because it's very thin and it doesn't add any thickness to your phone, is how much protection do you get? So let's look at the sides. One of the things that you'll notice, and we'll try to make sure that this stays in focus, is that it's close to being flush to the case. So really, it doesn't provide much protection from the top here. On the corners does provide some protection. You notice how much depth there is here. So you have some protection in case of banging right here. You'll notice that there is protection here as well. You'll notice how much space there is. So there's some decent space protecting your phone if it gets dinged right there. And as we run our finger here on the side, there is an impression here, and it's kind of hard to see, but there is a minus and a plus. All right. Now, it's not grooved like some of the other cases, which makes it hard to really find. I wish it was raised in some form, but it's letting you know that the volume buttons are there. It's not really tactile in nature, so that's kind of a little disappointing. On the top, you notice on the top there seems to be more protection than there is on the bottom. Notice how much material you have there. Let's try to get that in this angle. You'll see a little bit more material, not a lot. So again, if you were to drop this, and it would hit in any of the corners, with the exception of these corners, you'd damage your phone. So you can see how nicely that aligns well with your phone. And you'll notice, once again, as I mentioned, it has some decent protection on the sides. Here you'll notice that there is also a cutout right here in the case that gives you easy access to the power button. But once again, if we turn it this way, you'll see it provides, I don't know, really small, maybe a millimeter of protection on the sides as well. So not a lot of protection if you're going to drop your phone. All right, on the back, I talked about that it seemed that it was raised, right, and it was at a higher degree, and you'll notice that it is. So let's see if we can get that really good for you, so you guys can see that. There's more depth, definitely more depth, protecting your lens from being scratched, which is a good feature. So you notice I have my finger in here, and you'll see how much space there is. So that's good to have. So all in all, it doesn't look like this case is going to provide a lot of protection, but it's a good-looking case. It's also, as I mentioned, a smart case. So if I open it up, my phone does turn on. Notice when I close it, it goes into a specific setup process now. So once again, when I open it, it turns on your phone, and we'll do it one more time. We'll turn it off. We'll open it. It did turn on the phone, and if I close it, all right. So I'm going to go ahead and set my colors. I'm going to choose black, black background. So that's going to be my S window color, and I'm going to say set. And now notice how my initial view is. I can see. Let's open this up again. I can see the time, I can see messages, and it looks like I have some application shortcuts and then all of my controls. And I can see my music player and play music, and because the case doesn't really cover up, my speakers, it will play. I could go into action memo, as you saw there, or even the camera mode. So if I were to turn this on again, let's make sure I turn it on, swipe over, and I choose camera. Notice how the effect is really restricted to the area here, and this is kind of a restricted view. It's almost like when I'm taking pictures with this, it's as if you are doing a Polaroid type camera photo. For those of you who don't know what the Polaroid type camera is, it's where you had a cartridge of a film, and when you took the picture, it would come out square. So it's a rectangular type photo. So it's not really a very large photo. So if I were to put this here and I were to take a picture, my photo is going to be restricted to that kind of view. We'll take a look at what that photo just looked like, the one that we just took. So the other thing you could do, and we'll exit out of this, and we'll go back into it, obviously is go into the action memo. When you choose action memo, you can actually take your notes here if that's something you want to do, or you can exit out. And remember, since this is a clear screen or a plastic screen, you could actually use your stylus to write on top of it. So now if you want to personalize even further your S View window, all you have to do is really go in to menu, go into settings, and then what you're going to do is look for the accessories. Now what you could do is you could go through screen like this to screen, just trying to find, hey, where are the accessories where I can actually make these modifications, and eventually you'll find it. You notice how there was accessory right there. Or the other thing is you can do is you can type S View, So S view window. So when you go into S view window, you could actually set the colors. If I hit cancel here because I already set it, you'll notice that I ended up in the S view area. So I can choose the window color. I can work on how the automatic lock is going to work. The other thing I can do is I can add things. So if I want to add the weather, and I could actually, since I have the walk made on, I can actually enable that. What that will do is now when I close the screen, you notice that you see the steps that I took and the weather, which makes it a lot more functional. So I would expect that at some point they're going to add more things to what you could do in the S view window, but for now you can add your weather, you can add your steps, and then obviously access your music as well as your camera and your action memo. So what do I think about the case? The case is very expensive for the functions that you get. I'd rather spend money on a case that provides more protection just in case I drop it. But if you're the kind of person that keeps your phones and doesn't drop them, or you keep them in a briefcase or in a purse, maybe this is something that you'll want. It has some neat features, you know, the ability to be able to see things on the screen by just pushing either the power button, like I did right here, just to see what's going on, is pretty neat. But again, it doesn't provide the kind of protection that I would look for in a case. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them on the YouTube channel, and don't forget to subscribe.